Oh no!
You're looking at Maymay's.
Hello. I don't even know how we can explain. Whatever. Welcome to the Death Battle cast.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a weird one.
We're the cast
Calling it now.
and crew, I think, of Death Battle.
Sure.
Stuff, you know, and then Nick's here as well.
Hey, I'm here. I got spaghetti.
I am so mad at you.
Why?
I'm so hungry, and now everything smells like spaghetti.
We all, when we decided that the show would air at noon on Tuesdays, we all made a vow that we would not, you know, eat until afterwards. This was like a blood oath.
When did this happen?
And then
blood's not in
you
that
drew
oath.
blood and put it on the paper. Because
My
we
blood's
knew it
not-
would make
show
the
me that
room
paper.
smell, and it would make all the rest of us hungry. And here you are, shoving spaghetti down your throat.
Luckily, I can hardly smell.
Suffer, Ben.
Nick Kramer, professional podcast host.
I'm done.
Yes.
This is the first time he's here in like months, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm just gonna bring spaghetti and then. Don't worry.
All right.
I think
well,
you're back next week again. So
Sweet.
the spaghetti hasn't had a lasting appearance.
yeah, I'll just save it, and then you'll finish up the spaghetti next
Yeah.
next week. All right. I'm Ben. I'm the voice of Wiz.
I'm Chad with Boomstick.
What? You're supposed to be the last one who says.
No, it's I'm
No,
Nick.
it used to go this way.
Get wrecked. I
But
took your name.
It doesn't. That's
I'm-
Sam. That's Nick.
I'm Nick, and I don't do anything here anymore except eat spaghetti.
And be on the podcast.
And podcast occasionally.
Unless you keep eating spaghetti on it.
I feel like you're drinking extra loud.
God,
into
I know.
that,
Like, what are
just
you
for the
going
mic.
for? What
Like,
bit is
happening
this?
It's the I'm hungry and thirsty bit.
Are you specifically? You have been on Death Battle Cast for a few episodes. Did you
been a while.
specifically decide I'm gonna do my best to annoy and ruin everything?
That's a good plan.
I did. I didn't do
Clearly.
What
Well,
are we talking about today?
if you're watching live, as we're live on Tuesday, thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube when it comes out Thursday,
Also
thank you.
thank you.
Or even watching the audio version,
Listening.
whenever the fuck that
that.
comes
Watching
out.
audio. If you're an alien.
If you watch or listen at any point in time, thank you. Like, it doesn't
Oh, I guess I
matter.
did say watch.
You did.
Well,
It's okay.
you know.
for those of you mutants
I'm hungry.
who can see sound.
But I do want to thank our sponsors for this week's episode, Bespoke Post and Fiverr. And we'll have more to talk about with them later on in the show. But we have an upcoming death battle that we're going to talk about and have a little sneak peek for you guys.
Cool.
If we can not get off topic and have
I've got a story,
horrible
but-
things happen.
We can. If you want me to wait.
We're just going to go into, like, people are here to see the death
I know.
battle
Fine.
sneak
Let's
peek.
show. I know.
Well,
The
then
title
show
of
them
this
the
is going to
sneak
be Sneak
peek
Peek.
now, then.
So let's
I
just
know.
do it.
Okay.
So this is for Johnny Cage versus Captain Falcon, and it comes out next week. We don't have sound design, or
You guys are
the
used to
whole
this.
sound design just
Look.
yet, because RTX is coming up, so all the teams are very busy right now.
It's a scramble.
So, but we do have music. We do have the voice actors. It is Kieran Filton as Johnny Cage and Keston Howard as Captain Falcon. I'm very excited for this one. Like,
Dude,
I'm
it's so good.
fucking excited for this one. So let's go ahead and just play that little sneak peek right now.
Awesome.
You recording? Yeah? Okay. We're at the F-Zero Grand Prix, snagging some clips for my latest flick. That guy there? That's who I'll be playing. Yeah, you're looking at the next Captain Falcon. It's gonna be a pretty sweet gig for
Hey, did you say you're the next Falcon?
yeah?
Only one who can surpass Falcon can become Falcon. Show me your moves!
You wanna go? Let's dance!
Saving a lot of that.
Yeah, well, you know, the sound is going to be so cool that I kind of wanted to save a lot of the actual fight for when it actually comes out to next week. The first, it airs for first members. That kind of works out. And then on the third, it comes out on YouTube. So, yeah, it's going to be really cool.
animation's so
This is I actually wrote this episode with some of the help from our research team. And this is kind of like we mentioned earlier on this year that, you know, last year was very much about, or the season was almost like themed around the top requests that we haven't really done up until that point. Some of the most popular requests. Like Pit versus Sora, for example. Requested since the beginning of Death Battle, but we had never done it because we weren't really sure what kind of reaction we would get. We just decided that year, we're just going to do it because it's really highly requested. This year, we've, of course, as always, we've got plenty of those sorts of episodes, but we also kind of wanted to do a lot of little oddball episodes. Oddball episodes. Some oddball episodes. Some like weird matchups that maybe, weren't really floating around in the ether in a lot of people's minds, but we think would make a really cool idea. And this is one of them, specifically the match of the hype celebrity fighters. And I'm very excited to see what you guys think of the match when it comes out. But
I'm excited too because this is the first one in probably like the last 5 years where I've done literally nothing with. I don't know who wins this, so I actually get to watch.
So much so that when the preview started, Sam goes, "Man, that announcer dude's jacked." We're like, "That's Johnny Cage."
I literally
dude.
know nothing about this one, and it's really cool to get to watch a death battle again and not know every beat to it.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
And Falcon is one of those characters where nobody knows anything about him because he had a couple racing video games. It's funny when we announced this, I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat versus Captain Falcon from Smash Brothers." I'm
that's kind of sad.
It's kind of true, but
yeah.
it's a little sad.
I mean, the Smash games are far more popular than any F-Zero game.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
But pulling information from Smash Brothers is a weird, thing to do for a versus show because he's fighting, characters from Pikachu to Samus to Ridley is in there and he can blow up a moon or whatever. Does that mean Captain Falcon can blow up the moon? Not necessarily. But fortunately, Captain Falcon has an anime. Literally called The Legend of Falcon, or it's GP Legend.
How much stuff did you pull from
dub here?
How much stuff did you pull from F-Zero video games?
Oh, quite a bit.
Really? Because it doesn't seem like
he does anything outside of
there's
a
a
car.
story mode in GX.
Yes, there's a story mode in GX. There are stats. I don't want to get too much into it because that could kind of spoil some things that we kind of reveal in the episode.
Okay.
And how essentially, remember how we did the research for Shredder way back when we did Silver Samurai versus Shredder? Shredder is a character typically. By Death Battle rules, we stick to the main timeline, the main source material of a character, and any other source material is used as supporting evidence. So it's not really a composite character, but because supporting evidence material outside the canon can contradict with the main canon. And if that happens, then we remove it. But we do want to express and represent these characters in a way that everybody who has seen those characters or experienced those stories can recognize and they want to see.
Yeah, so they get what they come to expect.
Right. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind that there's a main timeline and we need to stick to that timeline, what that one can do. So a comic book characters from Marvel is a good example. Earth 616. The Spider-Man movies, sure, we can show footage of that, and maybe we could talk about that a little bit, but...
If it's supported in the 616 comics,
right. When it comes down to it, it is 616 Spider-Man versus whoever we're pitting him up against.
Yeah.
Sure. For Shredder, it was weird because... Main timeline Shredder has one issue and then he dies.
Yeah. From his own grenade. And then he comes back as a colony of worms or something like that.
Yeah. When people think of Shredder, they think of the cartoon version.
Right.
But even that one is a little weird. And then there's other versions of that one. So we had to kind of
That's exactly what I thought of.
we had to kind of do a sort of composite in that way. Basically, we decided any human Shredder who wasn't a crazy ancient Japanese samurai who turned into a demon or whatever happened in the 2007 cartoon or whatever it was. So we kind of created a rule set for that character. We kind of had to do something similar for Falcon because the games are technically the main timeline, but the anime is where the vast majority of the information is going to come from. Good thing is, if we look at the anime as the main timeline, the games actually kind of support it really well. Even some stuff from Smash Brothers.
Really?
Which is interesting.
Okay.
But I'm just going to leave it at that because we get into it in the actual episode. Again, that comes out next week. Very excited to share it with you guys.
Who animated that one?
That was Luis and Zach over
So
here.
yeah.
And then a couple of the freelancers.
Great.
So it's pretty hyped.
Yeah, it looks really good. I got to check it out last week. Sure. Yeah, I think it was last week.
Some point.
Yeah, it was super fun. There's one part that I'm very excited about. There's very interesting use of terrain. That's all I'm going to say.
So mysterious.
It's just really, really cool.
So, what did you want to talk about, Chad?
Just in case you guys ever thought about having kids, wanted you to know what you're in for. If you guys follow me on social media, you might have read my fun little post that I put up over the weekend, but just want to give you guys just a little look into the life of a parent.
Oh, boy.
So, this is how my Saturday morning went. First of all, Friday night, stayed up too late playing video games because I'm a fool. And so I was assuming that my son would
Or you're a child at heart.
Well, I was assuming my son would, like, you kind of gamble on, like, all right, well, he stayed up to, like, 7:30 tonight, which means surely he'll sleep in till, like, I might get 8, like, maybe 9, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I can stay up till 2 playing video games. Wrong. So at 6, it starts storming, which my dog's terrified of storms. What he does when he's scared of storms is he goes around and he opens all the doors in the house and checks on the children. And this
By
wakes...
opens all the doors. Just reach up.
He literally, yes, he can open every door in the house. I hate
Are they
it.
handles or knobs?
They're handles, and
Okay, 'cause if they were knobs, I
I've
was
been
gonna be
tempted
like-
many times to just redo every doorknob in my house to keep him from doing it. Anyway, so he wakes up my son at 6 in the morning. So I'm on 4 hours of sleep, and I'm like, no. So I get up, grab some milk, put it in a bottle, and I go take it to him, and I'm like, all right, it's early. He's still laying there. He didn't pop up, so I'm like, maybe I can get away with this. I'm like, I give him some milk. I'm laying down. I'm scratching his back, and I didn't put this in the social media post because it was getting long, but I'm scratching his back. And then he's just starting to fall asleep. And I'm like, yeah, like it's going to happen. I need this. And then my cat walks in and goes, meow. And then he's like, boom, eyes up, stands up, gets excited to see the cat. And in his excitement, he throws his bottle. It cracks me straight in the temple. So then I go, oh, like, right, yell out, which my cry wakes up my daughter. So then she comes up. So now I have both of them awake at like 6:15 in the morning.
Awesome.
Take them down, start making breakfast. And my son gets really excited, and he likes to just run at people. And
How old is he?
he's just turned 2.
Yeah.
So I'm making him breakfast, and I turn, and my son is running full speed at me, and for some reason just rears up and punches me in the dick. Don't know why. He wasn't mad. It just happened.
He's just 2. Like that's
He's just
probably
that right
Yeah.
height right now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
where you just to reach up, it just so
Yeah, but I
happens
mean, like,
to land
Falcon
right there.
punches me square in the dick. So I drop. And so after I recover, I'm like, okay, God, it's just going to be one of those days. I had no clue what I was actually in for. So then I'm like, all right, I got to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, Kira, watch Logan. And so she's usually good about that, right? And so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go to the bathroom because April's not feeling well, so I'm trying to let her sleep. So I'm in the bathroom, and then I just start hearing my son cry. So I'm like, all right, great. Finish up in the bathroom as quick as I can. I'm just hearing my son just start wailing. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like yelling, like, Kira, what happened? Kira. And she's not answering. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I come running out, and I hear him. He's crying from my wife's office. And I'm like, oh, God, what did he get into? Like a stapler or some shit? Like all these things are flashing in front of my mind. And I was not prepared for what I walked into. I walked straight in. And apparently, see, the other thing about my dog is when it's storming, he gets really nervous. He gets really anxious. And then he won't go outside and go to the bathroom. Instead, he'll like find a place to anxiously liquid shit everywhere. And it turns out he did that in my wife's office.
Oh, no.
My son had walked in, accidentally stepped in it, slipped and fell. And then in his attempt to get up, he is now covered in the most awful smelling liquid dog shit, and he starts crying, and then he goes to rub his eye because he's crying.
No!
So he got dog shit in his eye, okay? So this is the scene that I have now walked into. And as a parent,
This all happened in the span of like seconds.
there was one quick moment where my brain got to stop and say, fuck my life. And then I ran, grabbed my son, and oh my God, it smells awful. So I'm holding him. Dog shit gets on me. I go running out of the office, and my daughter just goes, what happened? And I'm just like, I don't know. He like this dog poop, and he fell in it, and I gotta take him to the bath. And so I go running upstairs, put him in the bath, and my son is just crying. And I'm like, so I get the bath, I'm like taking off his clothes that are covered in shit, and I'm like, just then, like this bathtub, we don't have one of those little spray hoses, so I'm like scooping it and splashing it, and I grab like a towel, and I'm trying to wet the towel and just get it off him, but it's everywhere, and he's crying, and he just keeps looking at me and going, foot, yucky. I'm like, I know it is. And I'm gagging and retching because it smells so fucking bad. My son's crying. I finally get all of this dog shit off of him. And then I'm like I go take it and throw his shirt and the rag I used straight into the washer. Luckily we had eye drops from the last time he had gotten an eye infection. So I'm like, great, these are like antibiotic or whatever. So like, I'm gonna drop some of that shit in his eye that had literal dog crap in it. So I get him all taken care of and calm down, and I come walking out, or my wife comes walking out as I'm coming down the stairs. And she's just like, oh, good morning. And I'm just like, take the children. Like, I just handed her, I explain what happened. And she's just like, okay, Daddy needs a break. And I'm like, yes, I do. So anyway, that was my Saturday morning.
Your life's a circus, Chad.
Yeah.
But my kids are great and they're awesome. But Jesus Christ, that was a rough morning.
Did you ever have to put up with anything like that with your daughter when she was 2?
See, now here's the thing.
Did you have Mike when she was that age? I'm assuming this was Mike.
Yeah, it's Mike. We had Fry.
Fry's a little too small.
Fry's cool. He's chill. And we had the cat. Oh, I said the cat. God, that cat's gonna outlive us all. She's a demon. I'm trying to think. Like, Kira had hit her head, but we were like, she was always really
She never
cautious.
ran up and Falcon punched you in the dick.
Right. Like, she was always like a super cautious child, and it's really interesting because like it got to the point where for Kira, I was like, God, there were times where I'm like, I wish you'd be just a little bit more adventurous because like it'd be hard.
Oh it all channeled into this new one, and now he just runs at things.
Because like she'd be like really scared to like go down a slide, and I'd be like, you'll really enjoy it, but just like, oh, she'd get too scared, right? I'm like, oh, like it's a bummer because I want her to be able to experience things. So I was like, man, if only she had just a little bit more. And like she's been a lot better now that she's older. My son, however, polar opposite. I'm like, God damn, I wish you would like have just a sense of danger at all. Like, dude, like every day he gets hurt in some way. Like he just full speed sprints at shit. He just dives off crap. The other day he just tried to jump off the back of the couch. I don't know why. He's started doing like he does this thing, but it's great because now we have an audio cue when he's gonna do something dangerous as fuck because he's like a little daredevil. And he like gets psyched and then he goes, ready? And so like now we just hear ready. We're like, no. They're like, you just go running. They're like, what are you about to jump off of? And like, oh dude, it's fucking crazy. If they could have just met in the middle, that would have been great.
I thought it was the audio cue was going to be some like just noise.
No, he says ready
or like cough, but he literally says ready.
Ready? Yeah, and then he's gonna and you find him. He's always working himself up. He's got his little arms to the side, like I'm gonna do it.
Wait, so he knows. He does have a danger sense, but he just doesn't care.
He just thinks jumping off shit's gonna be fun. Kira was teaching him gymnastics. That's the other part. It's like now I have a 7-year-old influencing him because he wants to do everything that she does. And like she's a super awesome big sister, but I'm like, hey, he's little. He can't do what you can do. And she's like, but he's learning. I taught him how to do a handstand. And I'm like, okay, this is getting a little crazy. Like, and I'm like, stop doing it on the couch. That's the thing. I'm like, you guys can go out. We have a trampoline. Go on the goddamn trampoline because then it's like encased in safety, whatever. You know, like he can try to do flips.
Right. One of these newfangled modern trampolines.
Yeah, they're so nice now. It's ridiculous.
Dude, our trampoline had no guards. Like,
right.
if you got bounced off, you were done.
Dude, landing on the spring. That's the thing. Is like every trampoline session at a friend's house, it was over when that one kid went home crying.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
So always got hurt. Now they have the net attaches to where the jump mat is, and the rings attached to the spring on the outside of the net.
I was going to mention the rings, like getting caught on those.
You can't even land on the springs anymore. Like, it's just perfectly encapsulated. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good
I mean, that's
thing.
good.
Yeah.
Like, then you can just put your kids on the trampoline.
Kid,
like, go have fun.
The springs pinched his nutsack, and he got sent home. And that was when the trampoline ended that day, because that kid got sent home crying. Like,
I had a friend's older brother, like much older brother, who like we'd all be jumping on the trampoline, like pretending to like do like wrestling or something, and then the older brother would come and just like use us as his own personal action figures. Like this kid powerbombed the fuck out of me. I remember going, like, dude, I still vividly remember him just like coming up. He like pushes one of the other kids down, and he just grabs me and just goes powerbomb and just jumps and slams me and like fucked my neck. I remember going home crying because of that.
Just Zangiefed you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy
rough,
shit.
man.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always anyway.
did you teach him how to do the break the egg yet? That's like one of the
Dude, that is the most dangerous. That's the one I don't let him do it.
Yeah,
I don't let him do it. I'm like, that's always like
that game where you
jaw.
hang onto the edge and whoever. Are you talking about the trampoline game?
The trampoline game is where one person curls into a ball.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you jump around.
Right. It's
And
like
whoever-
asking to get knees in your face. Like,
that one's a fucking banger. I love that one.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that would work okay okay with the net around.
Better. You can still land on your neck, Matt, easy.
The net around, and
It's always
very small children.
I
only.
guess it's got to be a big
knees, dude. It's
trampoline.
always like jaw to knees or nose to knees that get so like.
Well, if you
or
tuck
somebody
your head
lands
in
on
It's
them.
not going to
enough,
tear
then-
your. It's not going to tear your leg apart or anything like that, like
That's
old
true.
trampolines could. But
Dude, oh man, land in half on the trampoline and half in the springs. Oh.
yeah,
That
exactly.
was one of the worst ones. Oh my god.
Well, you know it's not that bad.
You know it's the opposite of bad.
You know it's
Yeah.
the opposite of
Good.
painful.
Speaking of
Bespoke
good,
post.
Use some of that.
So Bespoke Post, this is our first sponsor for the day. When you're constantly on the go, grinding away at the office or hanging out with friends, there's not much time to think about upgrading your style or apartment. That's why getting the Box of Awesome from Bespoke Post every month is such an awesome deal. It's literally called the Awesome Box of Awesome. Get an awesome deal. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Clever.
awesome.
They'll even help you figure out which available boxes best fits your style. Whether you're in search of the perfect drink, a well-kept pad, or just jet setting in style, this improves your life one box at a time. Each box costs $50 but has more than $70 worth of unique gear inside. On the first of each month, you'll receive an email detailing what's in your upcoming box, and you have 5 days to change colors and sizes and add extra goods to your box. If you're just not feeling it that month, you don't really want the stuff that's in the box, you can just skip it. You don't necessarily need it. And Bespoke Post offers essential goods and guidance for the modern man. And this isn't like, there are tons of those services where you get a box in the mail every month and it's like, oh, it's a poster that you can hang on your wall or these little figures or whatever. This isn't like that. This is a box that is specifically designed to help improve your life. So if you are kind of in a position where you want better stuff in your home, you want to improve your life, your quality of life, and you're willing to go do this on a month-to-month basis just to slowly get your life into a really good spot, this is a good way to start or a good way to get to that spot. So you can receive 20% off your first subscription box by going to boxofawesome.com and entering the code BATTLECAST at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code BATTLECAST for 20% off your first box. Bespoke Post, themed boxes for guys who give a damn.
You love saying that. You always get that smile. You're like, yes.
Most of these sponsors don't want us to swear or whatever. These guys are like, yeah, screw that.
They're cool though. They got they just have so many different types of boxes that are useful, stuff for, you can get ones that is okay, we got
bar
cocktail
box,
stuff,
yep.
and then there's one that's bar stuff and kitchen gadgets and everyday carry gadgets and it's just, they got cool shit.
Ties, grooming things,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff that
They sent us
is
ties,
actually
and that
useful.
tie came in mad useful for a wedding, a month after I got the tie. I
That's
was
when
like,
Sam
oh,
was hooked.
they got the tie. It was
Well,
great.
go ahead and check it out. Thank you again for sponsoring Bespoke Post. This is they've been sponsoring us a few
For a bit
times
now,
and
yeah.
helping us keep the show going, as well as Death Battle. That's something that I don't think a lot of people realize. When a sponsor sponsors Death Battle Cast, that also helps our other shows.
Yep.
So yeah,
And when you
we
guys
very
sign
much
up,
appreciate it.
Yeah, and we only continue to get sponsors because you guys get to go try out these trials or sign up for the offers. So.
Yeah, so thank you for checking those out.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time to talk about what's going on.
Where's the progress bar? I haven't seen it.
It's around. Don't worry
It's
about
somewhere.
Okay.
It's,
There it is.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
So first thing I want to do is show off a piece of fan art that I just learned literally a couple minutes ago exists.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen this yet. So let's go ahead and bring up the fan art from Anarchy Hamster.
Anarchy
Love
Hamster.
that name. Oh, I saw this.
Oh,
Hey,
it is this
yeah,
one.
this one.
Oh,
I was
that's
like, you
dope.
did see this. Yeah,
I did
that's
see this.
super dope.
Wait, isn't there another one that's Boomstick as Johnny Cage?
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. I think there are two of them.
Oh, wait, I think I did see that. Yeah. Really cool.
So check out Anarchy Is it Anarchy Hamster?
Yes.
I can't see that screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out Anarchy Hamster on Twitter to check out the Boomstick one as well.
I absolutely
think it's
love
he's still kind of chubby, a little overweight Boomstick, but
Great.
with Johnny Cage's tattoos.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
pretty sure I saw that, yeah.
Muscles. It's pretty good.
Sweet.
Really great job.
That's
What a-
awesome.
What a great Twitter handle.
Anarchy Hamster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous.
I love that. Well, thank you. That's awesome. We love seeing that kind of stuff. So,
Dude, I haven't watched it yet, man. I'm like,
the
I don't know if I can put
the Evangelion dub.
Yeah, I don't know if I can put my brain down that rabbit hole knowing where it ends. That's
I know, right?
It's a weird thing to jump into if you've never seen it before. But I do have to say, so it's people might not know this, but the English dub for Evangelion has been extremely difficult to find for the past 2 decades, basically. The last time an English dub was released was on DVD in 1999.
Yep.
And it's never, as far as I know, it's never been on a streaming service. It may have been on something. Funimation may have had it for a little while, and then they lost the rights to it.
Was it Funimation? Was it ADV?
Or was it gosh, the original dub? I don't know.
Or maybe it was one of those other houses that I.
It was definitely one of the earlier dubs that people like appreciated a lot, because like old school English dubs before anime really took off here, you have stuff like 4Kids where they're changing a lot of the dialogue to better fit a Western audience.
Right.
Jelly donuts and Pokemon is a great example. That's a rice ball to jelly donuts.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff like that. Or that's just like bad voice actors because they don't have the budget to actually hire decent voice actors. So it's just people in the studio go like, I guess I can voice act, right?
Nothing will beat the Mega Man games.
Yeah, well, that's a good example. Like back then, people just didn't care, or at least people in charge of these things didn't really care that much because there wasn't really a market for it. Nowadays, it's way bigger, and Funimation and Viz and all these other studios have like really dedicated budgets and time to making good animated dubs. It's a legitimate thing now. But Evangelion, back in the day, helped popularize that. But that dub is so hard to find legally that it became kind of one of the main selling points, at least from what I've seen, for people arguing that you should be able to pirate anime. It's like, where else are we going to find the dub for Evangelion? But now you don't have that excuse
because they revoiced it.
It is redubbed because
it's on Netflix. Like if you can't do that, I don't know what you can do.
These contracts and stuff between Japanese and American companies are always complicated. So I'm not entirely sure the specifics, but I'm sure there's something that like the original dub for Evangelion is like locked behind a bunch of different like contracts, and it's just never going to be seen again. Yeah. So Netflix had to redub it, and for the most part, it seems like everybody really likes it. Like it seems to be doing really well. There's one little controversy that's going on with. I don't want to get into spoilers for Eva if you haven't seen it, but there's a character who essentially develops a relationship with one of the other characters, and it is a homosexual relationship. To a certain degree. Like it's never super explicit, but in the original dub, he literally says that he loves him. In the new version, they changed it to "I like you," and people are a little upset about that. The thing is
it more true to the Japanese translation?
The translator claims that it is more true to it, which I looked into that a little bit, and it kind of is. Technically speaking, if you were to literally translate it, it would come out as like. However, it is
contextual.
It's I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this. Basically, the way that sentence is built in Japanese, like does not mean like, it means love. And this kind of gets into this issue where you can't translate Japanese to English one-to-one.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's funny to me,
it's a like with more feeling, right?
Yeah, basically. And then it becomes very clear when later on in that episode, in the original dub, the character says, "Oh, he said that he loved me," and then in the new dub, he said I was worthy of his grace.
What?
Which makes it very clear to me that this is a very literal translation.
Right.
Which it's funny because typically the prevailing debate that you see online is these translations that places like Funimation do. They're not literal enough. They don't take the source material literally, and they should make the translation more closer to the original source. But then in this case, it's like when you do that, this happens, and now all the complaints are the opposite. It's like, well, make up your mind, people. But I totally understand why people are mad about this, and it does make sense. But this is a good example of why I think it is. I've always been of the opinion that I think it's important that dubs do take
liberties.
Not liberties, but they take translation liberties to better, because again, you can't translate this stuff one-to-one. So in order to accomplish what the story is doing, what the themes of the story are, and what it's telling, I think it is important to keep in mind that maybe you should kind of tweak it a little bit to better fit the
message,
the language,
the tone,
that you're
the
using.
intent.
At the same time, that doesn't mean changing a rice ball to a jelly donut. But in a case like this, I think it is very important. Yeah. Outside of that, though, everybody seems to be really enjoying the dub. Very high quality.
It's so interesting because like I got into anime I want to say like 8th grade, maybe 7th grade. That was a long time ago because of mold. And so like that was like Eva was like really important. Like everybody who I knew was an anime watched Eva, and like now it's like it's considered a classic, but a lot of people like, and there's a lot of people who are into anime now, like who got in on like My Hero Academia and like that kind of stuff, haven't seen a lot of these like classic series. So it's been really interesting. I've seen so many things pop up on like my social media that's like, oh, I'm watching Eva for the first time, and I'm like, and every time I see it, I'm like, that's good. I'm glad they're doing that, but they have no idea what they're in for. Like,
it gets so
dude, it gets
weird.
so weird.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
the last like 2 or 3 episodes or something like that, where it's
you're like,
just
what the fuck is happening? Like,
okay, what were your guys' thoughts on how it all ended? Because I think
so you have to go watch the movies because the movies are supposed to explain it, but they don't.
Well,
because the
yeah, I know.
actual purpose is that you're
thought-
supposed to take away your own opinion from the ending of it or
I
whatever.
thought the ending was essentially because like you're talking about how it's stylized, like it's just a lot of it is like
it's like a clip
moving
show
still
acid
images
trip.
and stuff.
Well, they
Yeah.
ran out of budget.
I thought
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was the thing is
Yeah.
like they ran out of money when they were trying to finish the show.
There was a lot of issues behind the scenes in the last few months of production.
That would explain it.
And going into it when I first watched it, I knew about that, so I was
I
expecting.
did not. I
Yeah.
did not know about that.
I didn't either. I remember being disappointed when I first watched it. I've never watched it again, but I can't really say that now looking back on it from what I remember that it like it would if they obviously had a budget I think it would have been better. But
Like the fights
don't
are
know.
cool, the angels are cool, the story's really interesting. It's just the end just takes this crazy weird twist, and it's like, all right,
It has like really
Because they
subtle
literally couldn't afford
symbolism.
to end the show.
subtle with angels and all.
There's a big ol' wink with that.
dude.
Yeah, I think like take away what you will from it is like not the worst way to end a series because like
No.
I think ending a lot of that kind of stuff, especially because it's quite long and quite serious and gets quite heavy at the end. It's like hard to end that shit well. Game of Thrones, really fucking hard to end something well. Like so ending it with like this with excessive weirdness at least I think was an option.
I'm curious about something. Do you know if they took anything out or did they leave everything in?
For this new dub,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't actually watched this new dub yet. I would assume they left everything in.
Okay. 'Cause
Like
there's a couple
outside of
things-
translation changes.
There's-
Like it's Netflix. They're not censoring
Well, I'm just thinking
the
about
actual the actual visuals.
I think
or anything.
every horrible part you're
Which-
thinking about is actually in the movie.
there's
Which part are you thinking about?
So there's a part
When Shinji does
Where-
some like really
when
movie.
Shinji goes to
Yeah.
visit a certain character in the
Yeah,
hospital, and then
that's the movie. I think.
Oh yeah.
Was that the
Which
movie?
the movies are on
it's the
Netflix
movie.
as well, but I think they're only subbed.
Yep, that is the movie.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Which,
I just
mean,
I just remember that.
you can go check that
I'm
out on Netflix too.
Yeah.
It's just not dubbed.
Okay, yeah, I just like that. That part I remember just because I was when that happened. I was just like, "What? No way!" And then it
Yeah.
just cuts to the door, and you hear it, and then it cuts back, and it just shows his hand, and he's just like, "I'm so fucked up," and I'm like, "Whoa!" Like,
Yeah, that's definitely one of. I do
You
think
can
that
kind
that's
of
like a
interpret
good,
what
like-
that is.
just like the ending, Evangelion wants you to make it for what you think it is. Like,
Well, I
you
think,
kind of figure out
I
what he's
think
talking about.
That is like that is such a weird, hard to watch scene, but it does do a good job lending to the story of like, look how much all this shit has fucked these kids up. Like these kids are like ruined as people pretty
Yeah.
much. Like they have no chance of being normal, like at all after all this bullshit. So like I think that scene is very fucking weird and questionable, but it does do good service to the story.
oh.
I mean, the actual series just gets really fucking weird as it goes.
Yeah, and
so
it gets really
it kind
fucking
of
heavy.
works.
Like in like
It's
the
just
first
really
season,
awkward.
You're like, oh, cute, the lady's got a penguin for a pet. Towards the end, you're just like, oh my god, I'm so sad. Like,
Very true.
That basically
What
sums
else-
up the entire show.
Dude, you want to talk about like an emotional roller coaster of a classic anime, dude? Trigun. Holy shit.
Trigun's too long,
Dude, it's one of my favorites.
It's really.
I've
good,
never actually
but
seen
I never
God.
finished
Really?
Trigun.
I've seen a couple of the first episodes. But I've
Yeah,
never watched the
I
whole
only
thing.
got as far as like when they're on that gigantic train, like a couple episodes into that.
Yeah, I think I got a little past that.
You should watch it because like
Trigun needs like the Brotherhood or the Dragon Ball, whatever
I agree, you could
Kai
probably use
treatment. Like it needs it because there's a lot of filler episodes in that.
there
Like,
are,
I
but so
think
it's so funny because like it's
4 or 5 seasons.
is it really? I don't know. I have them all.
It's long.
But dude, yeah, I just remember that's the thing. It's like, oh, I like this because it's like these wacky antics of this dude, and like they're getting like he's funny, but then also he's like he can fight, and like that's cool. And then they just
3 seasons,
and then it's just like, all right, yes, get invested in these characters. And I'm like, yeah, great, I love it, this is great. And it's like, now we're gonna introduce a little bit of seriousness.
I feel
okay,
like that,
and then we're gonna do something really traumatic. Oh, and then by the end of the series, it's like super fucking serious, and man, but it was a great journey, and they tricked me, and they got me, and it worked.
Is that on?
Did they try again? Again? Because it says it's only 26 episodes.
I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was
thought
like,
it
it's not
really
that long, dude. No.
Oh my god, no.
I mean, if each season is 5 episodes, it's 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just a good series. You should watch it. It's just be prepared.
Yeah, that's one of those that I wanted to pick up and watch or rewatch again, but there's just so many of those.
Yeah, dude, my classic like early anime is like Eva, Trigun, there's Spriggan, which that movie. I don't know if anybody's seen that.
I don't even.
Ghost
I've never
in the
even heard
Shell.
of that. Yeah, Ghost in the Shell.
Of course, like all the Miyazaki stuff and like Grave of the Fireflies. So sad.
That's a fucking harsh
did you
one.
see? Oh god, did you see the thing that Reddit discovered that if you crank the contrast on the cover to Grave of the Fireflies, it's not actually like they're not. It's like the kids aren't sitting there in fireflies. There's a bomber above them, and it sparks from an explosion. They cranked the contrast, and I was like, "Oh God, it's so much sadder now!" Like,
Wow, what good thought though.
Holy shit!
yeah.
Good job, Dim.
Who decided?
Wait,
I'm gonna just take this cover and
find
crank
it.
up the contrast and see.
I was
what
on Reddit the
happens.
other day, and it just like blew my mind. And
How old is this one? Is it like decades old at this point?
Grave of the Fireflies?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I would assume it was made in 80.
I had never heard of it before.
Oh, it's
Let
real.
me find it.
Don't even go for it.
Listen,
It is
you will cry.
There's like nothing fucked up. It's just about World War II, so it's like, and it gets really fucking sad.
So it's just like Godzilla.
In every single way, yeah.
It's
There it
just
is,
about
there it
World
is,
War
there it
II.
is. This is so sad. Okay. Oh God. Well, let me make it big. Oh, you'll see. So this is the cover, and then they
Okay,
cranked up
yeah,
the contrast.
nothing weird about that. And then the high contrast version. Oh yeah, yeah. That's
I saw
Now,
that, dude, and it just like broke my heart. I was like, oh my God.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious why that's not clear on the cover that it's a
maybe
a
it's
bomber.
photoshopped in.
I guess.
It is. It's just dark. It's supposed to be. Like it's just.
I would think in the 80s they didn't have the printing technology to get away with such a differential of black.
Is that the
I
original
would
cover, or is that like
think
a
that
I don't know.
might be
re-released?
I could
cover
see it.
from years
It
later.
looks like original. but-
Like printing on a VHS kind of box
Yeah.
thing. Like they're not going to have necessarily
detail.
all the colors that they would have when they initially paint it. Yeah, that's probably something that just got lost in translation essentially as it went through the printing process. That's interesting. That kind of sucks if that's what really happened, but that basically it's released and they're looking at this movie that they just made. They're like, it's wrong.
But then it became this crazy gem for people, like 30 years later, that then you find out and you're just like, oh my God.
Dude, that movie is heavy AF.
Same with
like, Jesus Christ.
I'm just dropping out all these like sad animes, but there's a 3-movie series called Now and Then, Here and There.
That's been sad too, yeah.
Oh man, it gets so sad.
So if you want to cry,
You want to cry?
Here's our
you're at the right place right now. Start writing these down.
That said, you want to watch just an awesome, like, you don't have to get invested in the entire Rurouni Kenshin series because there's a shitload of filler and it's way different from some of the other stuff. But absolute favorite anime of all time is Samurai X Trust and Betrayal. It's the origin story.
That gets pretty fucking sad too.
Okay, listen. You're right. It is really sad, and I just realized that. But it's great.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
so
it's-
good.
Chad
Wait.
just loves crying.
Apparently.
Like that's his favorite thing to
Well,
do.
Look how depressed he is.
Satame is probably some of the
Satame?
best shit out there. Like, I mean, different.
You're right. That is really sad.
I think
God damn.
different cultures, like just because of their cultures, do certain emotional genres very well. And like the Japanese have they crush it at the sad game. Like
Dude, what's the one about the...
in for instance, the Koreans fucking kill it at revenge stories. Like,
That's true.
and like that's a cultural thing for Koreans. Like there's this, I can't remember the word for it, but there's this like base level like revenge that's like, it's a distilled thing that's like a thread through everybody's life, and it's like they fucking kill revenge stories.
Dude,
Like all of
Umbach.
them are incredible. Like Umbach. No, that's not.
That wasn't
that's,
Korean, though, was it?
Old Boy.
Old Boy. Sorry.
Revenge
Sorry.
story.
That's what I meant to do. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. Old Boy. Yeah.
I saw The Devil's Face, I think it is. This is one. It's got like one of the coolest shotgun scenes in like any movie ever. It's this guy like tracks a serial killer kills his, or maybe it's not a serial killer. This guy murders his wife, and then he's like revenge, tracks down this murderer guy and like tries to make his life as bad as possible. And like essentially because I think the guy chased down his wife and killed her. And then like he goes through. It's been like 10 years since I saw this, and like he pretty much makes this like the whole movie is just making this guy struggle to survive and like pretty much killing him throughout the whole way. It's fucking rough, but man, their revenge stories are
so good.
Off the wall, man. They're crazy good.
What? Speaking of
America probably has rom-com on lock. It's a weak genre, but we do fuck around with the rom-com, like
and superhero movies. We got that going.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I guess that nowadays that's is ours. Yeah,
that's our thing.
What was the on sad animes? It's about the pop idol.
India's got musicals for fucking
they
sure.
100%.
Bangers throughout the world.
What was it? Is that about the pop idol? It's like something blue, perfect. No.
Oh, yeah,
What?
Perfect Blue.
Is it Perfect Blue? Is that right? Is that it?
Yes, I think that's
That
right.
one's real sad. Oh God, man. Oh, what's the one that's basically Starship Troopers?
Oh,
I love it.
God, that's not like not
just-
Black Lagoon. Is it Blue Seed or
Blue
something?
It might be Blue Seed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That was really. Have you ever seen that too, dude? Like, if you want like anime version of Starship Troopers, it's awesome. Like, and it gets. Here's the thing. It's gonna.
But it's sad. Starship Troopers is sad. It's just
You're right. Starship Troopers is more wacky.
It's sad in a certain way.
This is much more serious. If you wanted like a serious anime version, but there's definitely some sad parts in that. But it does suffer from the like classic hero, like the getting the robot Shinji, like the classic hero not
Is
like
it worth it?
just like him not wanting to do it or being scared or like, and you're just like go do it, like But when he finally does, it's worth it. Watch it. Super good. Now I gotta look that up. You guys just got me amped, man.
Okay.
Like that's just talking about a bunch of classic anime.
Welcome to
anime.
the saddest episode of Death Battle Cast there ever was.
I think the saddest thing I've ever seen in anime is when Ash had to let Butterfree go.
No, Blue Seed is the different
That
one.
was
That's the one with
pretty
the
sad.
That was
little
pretty
gems in
sad.
their head.
I'm not. Gosh, I really need to watch more anime. My wife and I were having this conversation the other day.
Lady who get hit by the watermelon.
All right.
No context for that.
Sam,
Blue Gender.
Blue Gender.
take
I
away
am
our
here.
sadness.
You know,
with
I was gonna
some
say
Fiverr.
Blue Gender,
Yeah.
but
Hey,
because I'd heard of the
y'all.
title. But
You want to hear about some stuff?
yeah, tell me.
It's not sad.
It's not sad at all. In
Cheer
fact,
me up.
It's excellent.
It'll
All right.
help make you happy.
Have you ever like needed something done? Like you're like, hey, I need this thing, but I don't have the talent to make this thing. Well, let me tell you, there's a solution to that. You can go to Fiverr.com. In this place, it's like a marketplace for freelancers and just talent, and you can find like, hey, I need a logo. You can go to Fiverr and you can hire somebody to make you a logo. I've actually done that before when I needed a fake esports logo for something, so we could use it as like a joke in a Discord channel. And it was like, I was like, there's no way this will work. And like I went on Fiverr, I got a person for a very like an extremely reasonable amount of money. I can't believe they made a logo for that much money, and it was fantastic. And that's what you can do. And it's not just logos. It's like, what do you need? Do you need something animated? Do you need like, it's an entire like library of freelancers that do amazing stuff in like just about every genre. Like I said, I used it for a silly joke, and I was blown away by the actual quality of a product I got. So doesn't matter what service you're looking for, you can go to Fiverr and search for services, delivery time, prices, reviews, and more. There's no surprises. You'll know exactly what you're paying for upfront. No negotiating needed. Yeah, you don't have to like, you just like, they have a price there for this work that you need done, and then you pay it, and then they give it to you in a very reasonable timeline, and it's fantastic. It's a service you can trust, using sellers' ratings, the levels of buyers, the feedback. It's simple to review, compare, and purchase the services you need from sellers you trust. No transaction is complete until you're 100% satisfied with your work, and sellers have worked with some of the most influential brands in the world, so you know you're getting some, great talent. 24/7 customer service brings all that together and makes it a really cohesive product where you just kind of get what you want. So take 5 and check out Fiverr.com, and you will receive 10% off your first order by using my code CAST. Just the code CAST. I read that weird. So it's so easy. Don't waste any more time and get the service you deserve by going to Fiverr. That's Fiverr with 2 R's at the end. .com. Do that exact thing right there. Don't listen to me. Do that one, and you get 10% off your first order. I wish I would have done it.
Man,
when
you
I
were
did my
crushing
first
that
order.
read until
I
the
was
end.
killing it. I don't know. Whatever. If Fiverr is really dope, like I'm serious. You don't really need something right now because you can get Tank Maymay's custom made. Like I'm gonna.
You know what I'd love to do?
service, like literally. I think the logo I got was $15, and I was blown away with it.
Yeah.
Like, you can make
I'm curious.
Maymays with this service.
Commission someone to do some piece of fan art. Go to Fiverr.
You literally commission somebody to do, like, it doesn't matter. They're going to make money. You're going to get a product. That's a good system. Like, the freelancer is happy. You're happy. Cool. Like... Great. Just do whatever.
Everybody's
like, have
happy.
fun
No
with
more
it.
sad anime. Everybody's
No more
happy.
sad anime. Well, or maybe if you can commission, you literally could go find an animator and commission somebody to make you a sad anime if you want. That might be a little bit more pricey than $15, but I'm
A little bit.
way more reasonable. I literally looked at animators on there just to see what it was like, and like the price ranges go from like, how is this person making that to like, okay, that seems reasonable, but still like. It's crazy. Like, you get any price range, you can make your own satame. Like, go out and get it.
Well,
Thank you, Fiverr.
thank you. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you have no idea what we're talking about, you can find links in the description below and just take you exactly there to get what you want from the sponsors. All right, now it's time for the community death battle.
Juggernaut versus Hermione Granger still needs to happen someday. Someday.
We did a community death battle on that, right?
Yeah.
It was inconclusive. One more time.
He just wants the DBX, which DBX should be coming back soon, right?
Yeah. We'll
Although we
have
haven't
more
set a
about
date
that
yet. But
later,
you'll
though.
find out some juicy tidbits at our RTX panel.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of which, if you're in Austin, Texas, or you want to make a last-minute flight, come out to RTX. It's July 5th through 7th. It's at the Austin Convention Center. We've got a death battle panel. We've got a signing.
Dude, our death battle panel
We got-
has so much stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Juicy
It's-
tidbits.
It's gonna be like fucking awesome. Like we got so much stuff to talk about.
gonna be great.
But don't want to reveal it and don't want to spoil that. It's gonna be a really good panel. I hope to see you guys there.
Yep.
All right. So this week's community death battle was actually picked out by our guest from last week, Kara Eberly, the voice of Weiss.
Hey, awesome.
She. We were like, hey, Kara, if Weiss could be in any other battle, who would you pit her against? And she decided to pit Weiss against her main from Smash Brothers, Zero Suit Samus.
okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Which is great.
It's the
So-
ponytail battle.
Yeah.
I
I
got
feel
blue
like-
eyes.
That's the
like-
connecting thread.
Yeah.
Zero Suit
Well,
Samus is gonna
Ponytail,
win.
and also it's just Kara's character in main in Smash. So as always with the community death battle, we
Apparently blue, too.
we leave it up to you guys to let us know who you think should win and why using hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter. And we've got an answer for Weiss from Top Hat 348. And Top Hat says Samus is at a disadvantage. Zero Suit only comes with a stun gun, and she was infused with Metroid DNA to save her. But this also gives her the Metroid's weakness to ice, as shown in Fusion.
Oh!
Shoot, that's right. I forgot about that.
I thought the ice attacks was because of her fusion suit.
No,
She was
so
fused with the Metroid DNA.
So Metroid Fusion.
And that was fixed by the end of it.
Metroid Fusion was the game that I'm most familiar with. I do think you're right about it being fixed, but just quick synopsis. At the beginning of that game, she was attacked by an X-parasite. She was in critical condition. They used Metroid DNA to...
From the baby from
from the
Metroid
baby Metroid and Super Metroid.
Samus Returns.
They injected her with that to save her life because Metroids are the natural predator to the X-parasite.
Yes.
So that gave her the weakness to ice. They got around that for most of the game by giving her ice missiles instead of the ice beam, because the ice beam would have been detrimental to her. The missiles, I guess, contain the cold enough that
Explodes the
Yeah,
cold at
sure.
a distance over
Right.
there.
yeah, exactly. So but even though it like freezes everything around it, and if she's in the radius, it doesn't actually affect her. Anyway, whatever. By the end of the game, you beat the Omega Metroid. You absorb the SAX, which is like the doppelganger view, which is
Sure,
it's an X
right.
parasite in the shape of Samus. You absorb that, you get the ice beam anyway, and no one ever explains it. So
well, you get the various suit back. Like her DNA gets fixed by the end of it. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's implied that it's fixed because she just straight up has an ice beam. Yeah, like
brings it back.
She absorbs she with her Metroid DNA, she absorbs the like super ultra X parasite. And if you pause the game, if I remember correctly, and you look at your armor and stuff in the final boss fight, it says you have the ice beam. So I think the implication is that that's now fixed. And that was only a weakness for the events of Metroid Fusion.
Yes.
Everything before and after,
Doesn't
I
she
think.
also have avian DNA?
Oh, Chozo.
The Chozo, yeah.
Chozo.
That's before the events of any of the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we also have an answer for Samus from Z1 Puncher. And Puncher says, Zero Suit Samus wins. Samus without her suit was able to survive a crash landing on Zebes? I've never figured out how to pronounce this.
I always
called it Zebes.
I always pronounced
called
it
it
Zebes. I've heard it pronounced Zebus, though. I think
that's right.
that's how they pronounce it in
other
M.
end. They say Zebus.
Yeah.
Definitely
and
ZBs.
a crash landing on Zebes, and the explosion size yielded nearly 10 kilotons, and she can react to lightning from the ruins test at an up
close. And she has
from the
much
ruins
more
test up
experience in
close,
battle than
and
Weiss.
she has much more experience in battle than Weiss.
Emily has more experience.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I don't think the ice weakness is a thing. I think the big thing that this is going to come down to is the fact that I don't think Zero Suit Samus has a lot of killing power.
Wouldn't she still have some of the grenade stuff? Didn't she still have super bombs?
No. Well,
I don't remember.
I never played Zero Mission. I never played that one.
I'm pretty sure she still has the bombs.
I'm going to really quickly try to look that up.
I think this one might actually go to Weiss.
I think so too, and it would purely be because it's Zero Suit Samus, and we're taking away the Varia suit essentially. Because if she gets the suit and the power gun and the arm cannon, like it's done. But
Well, because then like any fire wouldn't do anything to her really. Because like the Varia suit can jump in lava and not be really. It's fine.
And it's incredibly powerful.
Ice doesn't really mess with it very much.
No, she's got the Varia suit itself is resistant or immune to certain
Elements.
heat and cold.
Yeah.
So I mean, like a cold attack could still hurt her. It's just that she can jump into a volcano and survive.
Getting smacked
essentially.
by a giant icicle is still gonna have kinetic energy behind it.
Right.
Sure,
it's not like
but-
Mitsuru where she just literally cancels out ice attacks.
She does not have bombs.
It's not okay.
Okay.
So all she's really got is the stun gun that can be charged up.
Well,
It's
whip.
also
the
and
whip.
the whip.
In the whip.
Yeah.
Laser whip. That's right.
Laser Whip's pretty sick.
And if Smash is anything to go by, rocket boots to some extent.
Right?
Oh yeah.
The super
Yeah.
uppercut. Kicky.
So
I'm
maybe
gonna
there's that.
I'm gonna go with Weiss then.
I'm staying Weiss.
What do you think, Nick?
Gosh, it's tough. I think I'm going to go with Weiss on this one because even though she's not specifically super weak to ice anymore, nothing says that she's exactly resistant to it. So I think I'm just going to lean toward Ice or Weiss. Ice?
No.
Same.
I mean,
Yeah.
basically.
Basically.
I think they're going to vote Samus.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
well, because it's Samus, and realistically, Samus's suit, the power suit, the Varia suit, it's not like something she just puts on. It is literally attached to her at all times, and she can just like materialize it around. So technically speaking, in
Zero
battle,
Suit Samus should
she
be able to
should
just
be
get
able
a
to
suit.
summon the suit. So we
Assuming
are.
she doesn't get the suit though. Like
Yeah.
if we're saying she gets the suit,
we are
I'm changing my
specifically
vote
limiting
instantly.
to what is presented in Smash Brothers, essentially, because that was Kara's main in Smash. So, in this specific instance, I have to say yes. I think I'm leaning towards Weiss. However, in almost any other scenario, Samus would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
think is the best way
We're in
to
agreement.
look at
see.
it. So let's see the poll.
Yep.
And you guys said
That's what I thought.
67% say Zero Suit Samus. So yeah, I mean,
Before you're typing that comment about like they only chose Weiss because of their own by Rooster Teeth, come on.
just watch our last episode. We just talked about how much the entire last episode of Death Battle Cast. We talked about how awesome Weiss is, how much Mitsuru sucks because we hate.
Oh, yeah,
Mitsuru,
totally.
right? And
Yeah,
we're
that's
totally
right.
biased.
Yep.
Like
I remember that.
remember when Weiss won that death battle?
I do.
Yeah, me too. Oh wait.
Yeah. All right.
You did that to throw us off.
Speaking of death battles, we have the next community death battle. This is a weird one, but I saw the research team kind of just joking about this in the chat, and I was like, that's fun. Let's try it out.
What are you doing?
Poison Ivy versus PD Piranha.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, the thing is, like, Poison Ivy has like a lot of poisons.
Just to clarify, I do not believe Poison Ivy can control plants who are sentient.
Okay,
she could not control Swamp Thing, who's like a plant with a human spirit thing going on.
Yeah. Can plants get poisoned?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think PD
You can poison weeds.
Well, no, but
real life?
yeah, the thing is, like, all of her poisons like are generally made to affect humans who have like a circulatory system and like all these things, and like we're pretty positive Petey doesn't even have fucking lungs.
Actually, have a belly button.
Well, yeah, because in Mario Sunshine, when you fight him, you beat him by filling his mouth up with water so it bloats him like a digestive tract.
If he has a belly button,
pound him.
Right, that means he's birthed.
That means he was, somebody birthed PD Piranha.
Well, assumably a larger plant.
Cut that umbilical cord. What the
No, the blaster didn't.
That's so weird.
Umbilical vine.
I guess
umbilical vine.
I guess you could say, like, he grew
his belly button
from a vine.
Well, or his belly button is the point of germination. Like, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
does he grow from a root or a tree?
I would love to know what you guys think of PD Piranha's belly button and who would win in a fight between Poison Ivy and PD Piranha. You can use the hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter to let us know, and we'll take some answers next week and see what you guys have to say. And then we'll also have a poll on our Twitter that's at DeathBattle on Twitter. That'll go up when this episode goes live on YouTube this Thursday. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode. Again, Johnny Cage versus Captain Falcon airs next week. And then after that, we'll have a panel at RTX on July 4th weekend. It's going to be awesome. We got a ton of awesome stuff to share with you guys. It's going to be so much fun.
Hopefully we'll see you there.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.